Jolan True, and welcome to another episode in the Delta Quadrant called What's Left Behind.
Admiral Tuvok would like you to join his team as they study the mysterious artifact you found on Vadwar Prime. Meet with them in the Nal Shadan system.
Understood. Helm set course, maximum warp. We have arrived in the Nal Shadan system. Voyager sends Admiral Tuvok's regards and says they are ready for you as soon as we move into transporter range. Understood, let's meet with Voyager. Transport complete. Sir, Admiral Tuvok has arranged to greet you in the transporter room. He wishes to speak to you about the device we recovered from Gaul. Understood, I'll talk to Tuvok.
Welcome back to Voyager.
Thank you,
We were
Admiral.
about to begin studying the device you recovered from Gaul's communication center. Since you have spearheaded much of our efforts here, I would like you to take the lead once again. Captain Kim and 7 of 9 are at your disposal. Talk with them if you need more help deciphering the device. When you finish your analysis, return to me for further orders. I will be here in the transporter room to see you off.
Understood, Admiral. I'll take a look at the device in engineering.
Glad you're here. We transported the device to engineering here so we could run all the scans and tests we could think of. The first thing we need to do is determine how it's communicating. We can't find any normal transmissions from it, but we're hoping you have some new ideas to bring to the table.
Agreed.
The device communicates with subspace. We should have guessed that.
Yeah, you should have.
Now comes the hard part. We need to access the device's memory core. The engineering team here on Voyager is good, and I've heard your team is top-notch. But it might take more time than we have for either team to make a full analysis. We should have both teams give you their opinions on the device. If we work together, hopefully we can make a breakthrough.
Agreed.
You'll need to set switches on the device until we get solid readings. We'll be able to tell if switches are in the correct position, but not which switches. Good luck.
I'll go set the switches. You said teams tell me what state the device is in.
The engineers tell me there is only one switch in the correct orientation. The engineering team. Sir, I've consulted with both the engineers here on Voyager and your chief engineer. I am seeing green across the board. All the switches are in the correct position, and we now have access to the primary memory core of the device. Unfortunately, we're only halfway there. Now we need to access the secondary memory core to get full access to the data we need.
I'll access the secondary memory core.
The engineers tell me there is only... The engineering teams tell... The engineers tell... Looks like you did it again. All the switches are in the correct position, and we now have full access to the memory core of the device. 7 of 9 should be of assistance in accessing the memory banks of that device. She's in astrometrics, attempting to get a fix on the location of who, or what, is receiving these transmissions.
Excellent. I'll go see 7 of 9.
We have access to the databanks of the device. Very efficient work. From the data we have received so far, we will be able to pinpoint the exact transmission coordinates. However, it is possible that doing so may alert whomever is on the other end that we have reverse-engineered their technology. There are 3 likely ways to get at the information. I suggest further analysis to determine the best course of action.
Alright, now we'll go back to see Admiral Tuvok.
Fascinating. Excellent work. With this location, we may be able to finally reveal who gave the Vaadwaur their advanced technology, and why the neural parasites appeared again in this time and place. Commander Jarok of the Romulan Republic has requested to join you on this operation. Her own analysis of the device has shown that the Romulans have had some contact with the creators of this device, a race known as the Ilachi. She will meet you in subspace at the given coordinates. Finally, Voyager's emergency medical hologram, the Doctor, will be assigned to your crew. His knowledge of the Delta Quadrant races may prove invaluable. He's not much of a combatant, but should prove useful.
Understood, Admiral.
Hello again.
Sir, we successfully transitioned to subspace. The RRW Lisette should be arriving any moment. Looks like Gulf's communications are going to an Ilachi outpost station. It's still active, sir. I'm picking up several Ilachi ships in the area. Go to Yellow Alert and keep an eye on those Ilachi ships.
Greetings. This is Commander Jarok of the RRW Lisette. When we learned that the Ilachi were involved, I requested to shadow you on this mission. I know you have experience dealing with the Ilachi, and I thought you'd want some extra firepower.
I already know too much about the Ilachi. Happy to have extra firepower, though. Welcome.
All right. We'll follow your lead here. We're seeing 3 patrol groups. Recommend we eliminate them before we board the station.
Agreed.
exactly played well. Another Alachi ship is here to defend the outpost.
Well, let's deal with it. We're gonna transport as soon as you're all ready. Let's go.
Good. You found the breathing apparatus. That should take care of that nasty cough.
We've arrived at the outpost station, sir, and the doctor has offered to accompany the away team to offer his extensive knowledge of the Delta Quadrant. In addition, Commander Jirok has taken an away team from the Lisette to another part of the facility. She wants to speak with you before we begin. Commander Jirok?
I was thinking we should split up and cover as much of the facility as we can, unless you have a better idea.
Doctor, what's your take on the situation?
This is obviously an Alachi facility. What I know about them comes from the Romulan Republic's databases, but I should be able to learn more as we examine this location. The air here is suitable for the Alachi, which means that you may find breathing difficult. I, of course, do not have that problem. If you have an environmental suit, or even some sort of rebreather, you will be fine. If you don't, keep an eye out for something that could help filter out the toxins. These are Solinate tables. I've read the Enterprise used some of them. These are definitely Solinate tables, which, if I'm correct, and I always am, is the same race you dealt with after using the Iconian Gateway on New Romulus. The Solinate kidnap victims through subspace for their brutal experiments. If they are somehow connected to the Alachi and the Vaadwaur, this is beginning to make more sense. If I had to guess, there must be a stasis room nearby. We should find it and rescue anyone in there who can still be saved.
Understood.
It looks as if they are converting their captives into more Alachi. If my readings are correct, there are several individuals here who have only just begun the conversion process. We can save them if we bring them back to your ship. We're transporting you to a Romulan ship in orbit. You're going to be fine. Transport this Talaxian directly to sickbay. This is no way for a proud Klingon warrior to go out. We'll patch him up immediately. Ah, a Hazari. Stay calm. We'll get you the medical attention you need. Everything will be fine, Mr. Teray. We'll beam you directly to sickbay. A Kazon? Even the Borg won't assimilate a Kazon. You'll be back on duty before you know it. One to beam up. Well, the Solanae are definitely involved. I believe I have everything I need from this area. We need to keep moving if we hope to meet up with Commander Jirok. The door is unlocked.
Understood.
Now. We should keep going.
Odd. You sound like you're in a Solanae lab, but we're in some place that looks like a prison. In fact, I'd say that's exactly what it is. And they've just had a breakout. Whoever it was, they used our arrival as the distraction they needed to make their move. I'll keep looking for more information, but I hope the escapees are friendly.
Be careful, Commander.
A prison break? Maybe I should go back to the ship. Neural parasites. This must be where the Vaadwaur were implanted with those mind-controlling bugs. Neural parasites. Just as I suspected. Did you know that several Starfleet officers were infected by these in the mid-2360s? The Enterprise logs from that era are fascinating reading if you ever have a few dozen hours to spare.
Take a look at them later, Doctor. Continue, please.
If Gaul and the infected Vaadwaur were communicating with this station, it stands to reason that this may be the facility where the bluegill implantation takes place. We should definitely investigate further. If we can find the implantation room, then I should be able to analyze their equipment and gather more information. I don't believe it. The empirical evidence is right in front of me, but I'm actually having difficulty processing this information.
What is it?
This tech. This whole facility. It's Iconian. There are variations on the norm, of course, because of the Solanae and Alachi influence, but I see distinct signs of their presence throughout the facility.
Iconians here, too?
The Iconians, as we know them, rarely reveal themselves. The only known interaction with an Iconian in modern history took place on Kronos, when... Wait, you were there! I don't need to explain that situation again. As I was saying, the Iconians don't like to act directly. They use servitor races, like the Alachi and the Solinae, to cause chaos in their name. And the neural parasites, they've bioengineered. Rather like the founders created the Jem'Hadar, but sophisticated enough to control another species, and with much less free will. The parasites are a weapon.
What about the Vaadwaur? Were they active before the Iconians revealed themselves?
When Voyager revived the Vaadwaur, their technology was outdated compared to what other powers in the Delta Quadrant had at that time. Even the Kazon outdid them. But now, Vaadwaur technology is cutting edge. The only way they could have advanced so far, so fast, was by allying themselves with someone else. With the Iconians. The Vaadwaur got their tech upgrades from them, but they also got the neural parasites. The parasites gave the Vaadwaur power, but they gave the Iconians control. They were ultimately the ones pulling the strings. This entire war has been against an enemy we didn't even see.
The information we needed to find. Let's meet up with Commander Jirok and get off this station. Taking a quick reading of those Lachi, they were showing signs of same energy signatures as Parasite enhanced Vaadwaur, but they're fluctuating. The Lachi will be phasing in and out of vulnerability. We can beat them, we just have to pick the right moment. Understood.
This is more like a factory than a laboratory. Some of this technology is ancient, but it's quite advanced. These parasites aren't a natural species at all. They look engineered.
was part of the breakout, but I don't know if he was part of the Republic or loyal to the Tal Shiar. Keep an eye out. The prisoners are headed in your direction.
Understood. We'll be ready for them.
Maybe we should avoid any potential contact with the prisoner? I think I've seen enough combat for today.
How fortuitous. I thought I'd have to find a way off this station alone. I don't think the Iconians want me to leave. Their tenacity is almost...
Looks like you could use a hand.
And now we have their leader's attention.
I should kill you where you stand. It will be justice for all the lives you've destroyed.
Calm down, Jirok.
And if you do, you'll never learn about the Iconians. I've been here for months. I've seen enough to know you need my help.
That could be very valuable information, Commander Jirok.
Fine, you interrogate her. I might get a little carried away. But she returns with me to the Lisette when you're finished here. If the Federation or the KDF want to talk to her after that, they can go through official channels. She's no empress. She's a criminal, and she'll be treated as such.
Agreed, you can take custody of her once we're done.
You and this Sela person seem to have
Somehow
some history.
I knew you'd
I'll
be
leave you
willing
to
to
speak to
find
her.
Tiaru is short-sighted. She'd kill me and lose all the secrets I know. Secrets I'm willing to share. If you keep her on her leash. You've stumbled into something much greater than you're prepared to handle. I'm the best ally you have.
Talk, then I'll decide what happens to you.
I assume you already know where you are. Both the Alachi and the Solanae serve the Iconians. The Alachi are their warriors, and the Solanae are their scientists. They're the ones who created those creatures implanted into the Vaudoir.
The neuroparasites, why didn't the Iconians use them here and not on the Tal Shiar?
Hakiv joined the Iconians out of faith. He thought the Iconians would create an empire he could rule. That did not go as planned. This time the Iconians wanted to control their puppets. When the Vaudoir asked for strength to defeat their enemies, the Iconians gave them the parasites. The Vaudoir had strength. but also strings. Strings that have now been cut. I'm sure you had something to do with that.
Yes, alongside an alliance with the Federation and the Klingon Empire.
All three of you working together? The world has changed in my absence. Or were the Vaudois that much of a threat to the Alpha Quadrant?
Actually, we're in the Delta Quadrant now.
That explains some things. I'd love an escort back to the world at large, but I have a feeling you have some questions first.
I don't have any questions, but I expect you to answer some before your trial.
Will I be taken into your custody, or will I be left to Tiara's tender mercies?
We've agreed, and in a spirit of cooperation, Commander Jirok will take custody. She is under strict orders to deliver you to Alliance Command. You will not be harmed.
Very well. It's not like I have a choice in the matter, do I?
Lisette, 1 to beam up. I can hardly believe it. The Empress here. She says she doesn't know the full extent of what Akiv and Alachi were doing, but I don't know if we can believe her. At least she's safe in Lisette's brig. I'm sure there will be a lot of negotiations before Sela stands trial and answers for her crimes. Until then, we should report our findings to Admiral Tuvok and Alliance Command.
We have Empress Sela in our brig. When she was taken by the Iconians last year, many of my people thought she would get away with her heinous crimes against the galaxy. With her in my brig, I am happy to know that is no longer a possibility. Of course, I understand that the Romulan Republic's claim on her is not unique. Her crimes are against all of the Alpha Quadrant. To that end, I will ensure that she be made available to all the Alliance leaders for interrogation and debriefing.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I'd call a walk in the park. At least we know exactly how the Iconians were controlling the Vaudois. And you've certainly put a crimp in their plans. On the upside, as a photonic life form, I'm immune to any attempts at subversion by neural parasites. I'll see to the care of the captives we rescued. In the meantime, it sounds like you and the Romulan Republic Command have a lot to talk about. Sela certainly has a story to tell, but should we believe all of it? I'll put a bug in Admiral Janeway's ear about the situation. That was a joke, by the way. You're going to be busy. Don't overdo... Oh, who am I kidding? Command officers never take their doctor's advice. Just remember that you're not in this alone. Good luck. I suspect things are starting to get interesting.
Indeed. Sir, the fleet has sent intelligence ships to comb the outpost for more information about the Iconian involvement. We're cleared to return to normal space in your command. Let's go. Sela and the Iconians? That I did not expect. So I'll have to take in, Admiral, and while I'm sure the former Empress has some interesting stories to tell, spilling her guts won't save her from justice. Thousands of people lost their lives to her games. She's not wriggling her way out of a public trial and suitable punishment. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you again soon.